Real estate has always been about three things: location, location and location. But what if I tell you the right location is no longer just the heart of a metro? With new infrastructure projects unlocking access to emerging markets and developers eyeing smaller cities, the next real estate gold mine might be further out than you think. Welcome to Realty Returns, your guide to India's ever-evolving real estate landscape. And I am Nandita Khemka. Now, whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned investor, this is where location meets opportunity. Today, we'll break down what to consider when choosing the right location, how infrastructure projects can impact long-term value, and the new hotspots emerging beyond the top metros. Joining us on the show will be Manish Jaiswal, CEO of Eldeco Group, and Prashant Thakur, Director of Research at Anarock Group. But first, let's explore the shifting real estate map of India and the surprising new hotspots gaining investor attention. Here's a special report. When it comes to real estate, one thing that matters just as much as the house itself is the location. Where you live affects your lifestyle, your daily commute, and your job options. For decades, home buyers have chosen properties close to city centres, near their workplaces, families, or roots. But today, that mindset is shifting. According to Prop Equity, home sales in India's top 15 Tier 2 cities rose by 4% in 2024, hitting 1.78 lakh units. In fact, cities like Ahmedabad, Surat, Coimbatore, and Mohali are emerging as real estate hotspots. And it's not hard to see why. With state governments pumping in big money for new airports, expressways, and metro lines, the real estate map is rapidly expanding beyond the metros. Interestingly, it's not just buyers. Investors are watching closely too. HDFC Capital has partnered with Eldeco to launch a 1,500 crore rupee fund targeting cities like Panipat, Sonipat, Kasauli, and Rishikesh. But what's fueling this interest? Better roads, faster trains, and emerging job hubs are pulling developers and plotted land players into these smaller cities, and they are meeting a rising demand from the upper middle class. According to industry watchers, the next big hotspots might include the Chandigarh Tricity region, Amaravati in Andhra Pradesh, NCR cities like Panipat and Sonipat, areas near Navi Mumbai, and the upcoming Jewar airport. In today's evolving real estate market, location isn't just important, it's everything. So with the changing trend, should you still be chasing the city centre, or is it time to look beyond? With infrastructure pushing growth beyond metros, location decisions are no longer straightforward. Now, to help you spot the best opportunities and avoid costly mistakes, we are joined by Manish Jaiswal from Eldeco Group and Prashant Thakur from Anarock. Gentlemen, thanks a lot for taking out time and joining us this morning. Prashant, let's start with you. The basic question: what are the key indicators that a buyer or investor should look at when evaluating a location for property investment? How does one really spot a high growth location early on?
You rightly said that for a real estate, three things are paramount. It's location, location, and location. And the key to making good returns, or let's say good purchase, is location. So there are a couple of indicators that one should look at selecting a location. Number one is what is the economic activity, what is the social infrastructure they have, what are the job creation opportunity or hubs which is there in the locality. Connectivity is also one very good indicator that one should look at. And apart from that, one should also look at the list of developers who are already present in that micro market. And if you're making an investment, apart from location, you should also focus on the demand and supply scenario of that particular micro market. Now, for example, let's say in that location, if there is a situation of oversupply, a lot of unsold inventory is there, the probability is that if you buy a property, the chances are less that you'll make any kind of capital appreciation over there. So these are the couple of indicators I think one should focus on while selecting a location and then before making a purchase decision.
Okay, fair point. Job opportunities and supply demand scenario. Also, the fact that there's been a lot of infrastructure development, right, across cities. Manish, my question is, how have these developments like new airports and metro lines reshaped real estate demand in their surrounding areas? What is leading that?
So all the infrastructure initiatives that our government is running right now, not just in main cities but also in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, what we're realizing is that these initiatives are helping a lot in invigorating the demand in these locations. And as a real estate developer, we are not just seeing the benefits, or we are not just seeing the seeds of the fruits of those seeds in tier 1, but also in tier 2 and tier 3. To give you a sense, in locations like Panipat, Sonipat, which are very strongly connected by national highway to Delhi, and since the condition of these highways have improved a lot, the travel time has reduced a lot. The cost of properties in these locations have grown by more than 2.5 to 3x, I think, in last 3-4 years. Same thing applies to Lucknow, which has a lot of infrastructure development happening, including the metro and the highway connectivity to various cities and states. Dehradun is another example where this airport expanding to become international airport. There is this expressway which is getting ready now anytime in next 6, 8, 9 months, which will basically reduce the travel time from Delhi to 2.5, 3 hours or so. Because of that, Dehradun market has evolved a lot in terms of pricing, in terms of absorption. People from local market are buying. People from outside markets are also buying these properties in tier 2 and tier 3 market because of this super development or physical infra push that we are seeing in our country today.
True that. Of course, all these factors are crucial, but so is affordability, right? So let's talk about metros. Prashant, talking about Mumbai and MMR region in particular, do they still offer great, return on investment? Because, ready reckoner rates have been increased. It impacts affordability directly, increasing stamp duty and property prices. Will prices ever stabilize in the maximum city? I mean, what are your thoughts about this particular region?
See, I think Mumbai is one city where fundamentals that market governs the pricing. And we have seen a steep increase in price across the top 7 cities, the metro. But what we have seen in Mumbai, that the prices that have gone up are backed by strong fundamentals. See, we cannot deny the fact that Mumbai is the financial capital of India. Today, 50% of income taxpayers come from the city. And when it comes to the economic fabric of the city, it has a multi-dimensional facet. It's not only services sector, but also a mix of manufacturing, which is on the periphery of the city, is also driving. Then there's media and entertainment industry, and also startup hubs coming in. So the economic factors will always support the fundamentals. Now, coming back to your question, whether the prices will stabilize. See, what I strongly believe is that Mumbai still offers a very compelling price value proposition. As I mentioned earlier, that it's backed by fundamentals. And while we saw almost high double-digit growth across top 7 cities, Mumbai recorded a very stable price appreciation over a period of time. Having said that, whether the increase in stamp duty and ready reckoner rate will have some impact on the overall pricing, I don't feel that there will be much impact. Yes, there might be some impact on the redevelopment projects where the costing would be reworked right now, but I don't see any major impact on the pricing because of increase in ready reckoner rate right now.
Can you name 5 real estate hotspots in and around Mumbai and MMR?
So I think the peripheral regions I think remain pretty strong. For example, Navi Mumbai, and especially after the new airport being commissioned very soon, I think that will be that is in fact a hotspot. Then KDMC belt, Kalyan Dombivli Municipal Corporation still offers those properties which are still categorized affordable rate. And then you have western peripheral areas. And then, if you have to talk about pure luxury play, I think the South Central Mumbai is still kind of is the destination where a lot of luxury and super luxury projects are coming. But yes, I think the story is playing out very well in the peripheral regions of Mumbai metropolitan region. And after this massive infrastructure upgrade that the city is undergoing, I think 5 years down the line, each and every micro market would be connected to the hub. And that's the reason I strongly believe that Mumbai's pricing is still backed by very strong fundamentals. And a person looking for a long-term investment, as well as, buying a property for end use in Mumbai, who has his job, or let's say comes from Mumbai, would be, I think this city offers a very compelling value proposition.
Coming to you, Manish, between Navi Mumbai's airport and the one coming up in Jewar, which regions do you see as better place for residential and commercial growth? Also, with rising land prices around new airports like the Navi Mumbai one and the Jewar one, are we in a bubble or is there real potential?
I think both are two different micro markets and they have their own different dynamics in play. As far as Navi Mumbai is concerned, that market was always a very well established residential market. People have been living in that region and traveling to Mumbai for work for many years now. So that market is only going to explode from here with airport also coming in and the connection to the South Bombay through Sea Link getting enhanced. I think that is a very well established market as compared to the Yamuna Expressway market, which is going to see the growth which has to come with the new airport now opening up in Jewar. However, Yamuna Expressway market, the dynamic is for growth is relatively very simple as of now, because it is the market which is right next to NCR, at which you can still buy a house for 1 to 1.5 crore in that range. Any other market, be it Noida, Greater Noida, Gurgaon, Ghaziabad, in this kind of ticket size, a nice, good house is very difficult to come by for the buyers. So, anything like the real estate surrounding the Jewar airport is going to get the benefit of that affordability, which it right now has, for attracting a lot of first-time buyers who are otherwise priced out of the market because of the price increase that all the micro markets have seen in the last 3-4 years. So I think another thing in the surroundings of Jewar Airport, there is a constant government push and policy decision making which is happening to get more data centers, get more manufacturing hubs established in that area, which will further fuel the growth of that area in terms of livability, the pricing, social infra, all of that would get better and better.
Prashant, coming to you, Dwarka is another area which is being widely discussed. It is undergoing a massive transformation. Lots of development happening there. How are pricing trends shaping up there, and do you see the potential of Dwarka emerging as a new real estate hotspot?
Yeah, I think Dwarka has been in the news for a very long time. And in between, I think because of lack of infrastructure development, it kind of was in a state of stagnation. But again, I think that market has revived. And what I strongly feel that all the pricing, I would say in terms of appreciation, has been factored in. So I don't see a massive price appreciation from here on. But yes, having said that, with this infrastructure support, this is a micro market which I think ticks all the boxes and is kind of taking a shape of a very robust and ideal residential destination.
Okay, Dwarka is also ticking all the boxes. Viewers, I hope you're taking note of all the areas that are being discussed now. But Manish, Eldeco has also teamed up with HDFC Capital and is setting up a 1500 crore platform to invest in cities like Panipat, Sonipat, Kasauli, Rishikesh. What makes these smaller cities and holiday destinations attractive for serious real estate investment today? Are you seeing a lot of potential here?
You spoke about two different type of micro markets in your last sentence. One is the vacation home vacation home markets that you talked about. Those locations are, like Rishikesh and Kasauli and Goa. Those are the locations where vacation home buying is happening a lot. And while Goa has moved up the curve in terms of price appreciation that the entire Goa market has seen in last 3-4 years, I think the hills are yet to kind of gain that attention from the vacation home buyers. We have been lucky enough to be amongst the first few developers to launch the projects in the foothills right next to the key cities of North India. One in Kasauli, one in Rishikesh, just seven. Kasauli is, I think, 6 hours drive from Delhi, and Rishikesh with the new highway expressway coming up, it will be around 3.5-4 hours drive from Delhi. So both of these locations are very well. They are coming out to be very well accepted premium second home, vacation home locations for NCR buyers, for North India buyers. That's what we are seeing. As far as the other cities that you talked about, like Sonipat, Panipat, Ludhiana, Jalandhar, and I would think Meerut to an extent would fall in the same category. See, these are the tier 2 cities and tier 3 cities in North India, and they have their own ecosystem, their own strong economy, which is working for them. There are definitely new physical infrastructure initiatives that government has implemented, which are now coming to fruition, aiding to the growth of these cities. But the buyer for the houses in these cities are basically the buyers who want to live in that city. They're living in that city, and not necessarily from outside. Like Panipat itself is a very big, export hub. It has a lot of industry. Same applies to Sonipat. It has a lot of industry. It is right next to Delhi. So a lot of businessmen who want to run industries right next to Delhi. Sonipat is an obvious choice for them. Meerut is, getting directly connected because of the expressway to Delhi. There's a new rapid metro transit system which is getting started, which is connecting Delhi and Meerut directly. So there's a 40-45 minute ride, I think, on that rapid metro, which will bring people to Delhi where they can easily work and they can return back to Meerut. So Meerut is again the kind of location where the buyers are living there. There is a strong social infra which has come up in all these locations. Like Medanta as a hospital, they are there in Lucknow. They are opening something in Bareilly. They are considering locations like Ludhiana, Jalandhar as well. Big malls have started coming up in all these tier 2 cities. So they have their own ecosystem which is aiding their development. And add to that, I think the government push for this, there's a strong policy intervention to bring more manufacturing into the country. And this is where these tier 2 cities and tier 3 cities have an edge, because the land value is still relatively much cheaper as compared to tier 1 cities. And any industry who wants to set up a big setup, if they want to buy a big land, it is just simply not possible in tier 1 city. That ecosystem can only come up in tier 2 city. And this new policy push of government, where the manufacturing hopefully is going to become a new big reality in Indian economy, that's where tier 2 and tier 3 cities are going to do very, very well. In fact, I was reading a report, I think, a couple of days back, and I was discussing with one of the senior bureaucrats in UP, and it came up that they are very keen on bringing in new global capability centers in their city. And in one of the reports, GCCs have started opening in locations like Chandigarh, like Jaipur. They have started considering Vizag as a location. So it's not just tier 1 city anymore. I think the opportunities are opening up tremendously for tier 2 and tier 3 cities also.
Sure, of course, the opportunities are, there in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. But, Prashant, coming to you, would you say that plotted developments in emerging cities are a better long-term bet than, apartment complexes in some of these metros? What is your take on that?
I think the answer would be yes or no. The reason I say is that if you look at tier 2 cities and then you compare tier 1 sales, so the total sales in the top, I would say, 7 cities is close to in terms of valuably 5 lakh crores. And when you talk about top 15 emerging tier 2 cities, they account just for almost 8 to 9% of the overall sales that we have. So this is from the numbers point of view. But again, having said that, there are few emerging cities, I would say like Lucknow, Ahmedabad, Bhubaneswar, Jaipur, Kochi. These are cities where we are seeing a lot of, I would say commercial activities taking shape. And we all know that, the residential demand is kind of taken up or spurred because when you see the commercial development happening, and then these cities are kind of taking shape based on a strong economic fundamentals. So one should, if you are looking at tier two cities, you should have a longer horizon in terms of investment compared to tier one cities, which are more established market, where you have established pricing. You can factor in what are the pros and cons because every factors have played out for a very long period of time. Tier two cities are cities where still a lot of emerging economic activities are taking shape, and we know in a country like India, where because of certain bureaucratic delays, these infrastructure projects, or let's say those projects which are expected to generate employment in those cities, might be delayed. But again, having said that, yes, the growth story is playing out well in tier two cities as well, because a couple of factors today, because of airport connectivity, road and transport connectivity, and post COVID, what we have seen is that mix of hybrid, where people have gone back to their hometowns, and then they're working from there, and the consumption pattern has changed. So I think tier two cities are definitely a strong contenders. Not all of them, but the cities that I named, I think are already on that trajectory. But again, the caveat is when you're looking at investment, you should have a longer horizon as compared to what you would see in a tier one city.
Sure. Manish, if one were to ask you that, I want to invest, in a property right now, since you are more tilted towards tier 2, tier 3 cities, any top choices, what would you advise?
Interesting question, because we are present in all tier 2 as well as tier 3 cities in tier 1 cities in North India. And we are invested in both tier 1 and tier 2. So what we are realizing is that in terms of growth, these tier 2 and tier 3 markets are offering a better return with a relatively lower investment on IRR basis in next, let's say, if you try to capture that growth in 3, 4, 5 years time relative to tier 1 cities. Tier 1 cities, the absorption is very good. We can do large projects because the scale is huge. However, in terms of investment growth, tier 1 cities, I feel are a notch below tier 2 cities in terms of percentages.
Lastly, I want to come to you, Prashant. What's your advice to millennials and Gen Z entering the property market now? Where should they begin looking?
I think, if you look at the average age of home buyers, it has come down from, 42 to, I think today it is 32, and between 32 and 35. So already the age of average home buyer has come down because of, increase in their income and also easy availability of credit. But when it comes to millennial, I think we have seen their inclination in acquiring hard asset quite early at the career, because this generation is kind of more savvy in terms of planning the future. So my suggestion would be that if you're buying a house for investment, again, you should have a longer horizon. Location, you should be very sure what you're picking at. It should not be a speculative buying. Do your due diligence in terms of how have you arranged the finances, because I'm assuming you are at a younger stage where you can make a down payment and the bank will be able to give you a long-term home loan based on your income profile. So that is one fact. But what I strongly also feel is that with so many options in terms of the configuration, we have seen, in cities like Mumbai, there's this good enough opportunity in terms of buying 1 BHK, 1.5 BHK, and city like Bangalore has also seen a good amount of launches of small ticket sizes, which are specifically aimed at these millennials, because at this stage they would prefer to buy a smaller house, as and when they move up in their social life, the family would expand and then they can move. But what I strongly believe that for buying a real estate, if you're looking at investment or as well as end use, this is the right time, because RERA has made the entire industry quite transparent. This phase of growth, what we have seen post-COVID, is led by strong grade A developers. So there is absolutely no execution risk. And in a country like India, the demand for housing would continue to grow. We might see certain years where you would see euphoria kind of dying down, but the long-term growth trajectory remains intact. And if you look at the GDP contribution, the share of real estate and construction is expected to grow. So I think it's a safe bet, but again, you have to look at a very strong developer, good location, and good project.
All right, strong developer, good location, good project. That's the checklist for looking for a location, for the right location when you're making your property investment. With that, gentlemen, would like to thank you for taking out time and having such an interesting discussion with us. Look forward to more interaction in the future as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Looking to buy? Scan the code and explore top listings with 99 acres. Well, now that you've got expert insights on picking the right location, we hope it helps you make smarter property decisions. Well, that's a wrap on this edition of Realty Returns. Drop your feedback in the comment section below and tell us what you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching. See you next week.